Welcome to Watchfire Hobbies. This is a relaxed space for wargaming, hobby, painting, basing, and building at an easy pace. So grab a brush, settle in, and let's enjoy the process. Today we're doing this ruin base effect. I use mine for my Necrons, as I have my Necrons coming out, of the ground, really reclaiming the world above. But this will also be great for Skaven, the Ruin of Skaven Blight coming out of the Gnaw at Age of Sigmar. Even like the Riftlands and Conflict. This would be a great base for this. In fact, it's very simple using Crackle Paste with a base layer and then just these little smokestacks. Kind of creates a fog effect or a venting smoke effect. The nice thing about using the Crackle Paste is it really uses those three layers. You have this base layer of the underside, which is a glow, in this case moot green. Then there's a varnish over it, which produces these nice crackle effect, which is your layer 2. And then the smoke makes it layer 3. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is paint the top of this base moot green. So we're just going to get a solid coat of coverage over here. For most bases, just one coat's enough, and I just use it straight out of the pot. So try not to catch too much of the edges. I mean, we will clean this up later, but... Okay. So there you go. Now we'll just let that dry, and then we'll move on to the next step. For our next part, we'll be using Contrast Warp Lightning. Just doing a little bit of a effect across the base. This is kind of optional, but I think it does add some stuff, especially to the larger bases. So just do a little shape here. And we'll let that dry, and then we're going to add some gloss varnish to it, and then put the crackle on. So the next step is just apply the gloss varnish. Now you can use Ard Coat. I'm using the Vallejo gloss varnish, and I'm using a really old brush here because I feel like this stuff never comes out of the brushes. But after this, we're going to apply the Mordant Earth. While that gloss varnish is drying, you can actually go grab yourself a cotton ball. And what we're going to do is we're going to separate it a little bit here. This is going to be used for our smoke effect. So as you see, I've been pulling this one apart for a while. Now, you can actually use this across a lot of things. I used it for an army for actual fog. It worked, but you can't go too heavy on it. So I would say right about the armies, don't go above the knee. But we're going to just separate this apart. And this is just going to be some smoke effects. So we'll get it there. I got some moot green. We're just going to give it a quick little dry brush just to kind of tint it. We're not looking for anything more than a slight tint. So, and again, just coming in here, more stabbing it more even than painting. As you can see, it's more that. And then, even these little specks, when we really come back through, we're going to pull it apart. It's even going to look even more saturated. Now, this is going to be great for the cracks that are on the steam coming out of the cracks there for the Mordant Earth. So perfect. We'll let that dry and perfect. Now we're going to apply Mordant Earth from the GW range. This is just a black crackle paste. Again, we're just going to get that across. Now that, using that gloss layer should make these cracks appear much bigger. It might not on the 25mm base, but you definitely see it on the bigger bases. So we'll just get that all on there. And it'll look like that. Don't worry, we're going to do the sides of the bases later. So this is what our base looks like after it's been drying. I do have another base here that we did not apply any gloss or did not really clump it on and just see the difference. Look how flat this is. There's very minimum cracks. Anything this is with the gloss and the kind of thicker application. So for the final two steps of this base, we're going to take our painted cotton swab and we're going to apply it to the vent holes. Now, naturally, this base cracks. Some areas on bigger bases, I might actually pry some of these off to really give the look. But right now, I think that's good. So we just need this pair of pliers. Perfect. Let's get started. So we'll just pull this off a little bit. We really want that kind of stringy texture. Now, this is way more than we'll need, but it's always good to just prep a bunch of this and then come back to it. Take about that much. You know. And let's get our super glue. Put it right here where we want it to go. Always try to have it coming out of these cracks. And what I like doing is kind of pinching it right in that green, folding it to a point. And then just sticking it right down there. Hold it for a second. You can also use your knife blade towards so you don't get super glue on your fingers. Then we're just gonna need another second there. So, you know, now you just kind of use the tweezers and tease this up for that kind of nice little effect. Just gonna use some Abaddon Black from the GW range. Just really get that side done and have this ready to go. So thanks for spending some hobby time with me today. Until next time, enjoy your hobby.